Hello folks, my name is Polis, and today we'll be looking at 6 buildings. One is technically a weapon, but is an idea of a building that are in the workshop. It could be very interesting and very useful to see that some of these could come in the game. Some of these buildings have been in the game, well not in the game, in the workshop for 5 years, while others have probably been in less. But it's quite interesting what type of buildings that are in the workshop, and I'm going to showcase them all 6 of them to you guys. Before I start, if I pronounce anything wrong or get my reading wrong, it's because I have dyslexia and global learning delay. And don't comment about my reading, because you'll probably get attacked by my fans or by people going, "You know he has disabilities, right? You know he said it at the start of the video and in the description, right?" Or they'll basically call you an idiot for not even reading yourselves and not bothering to listen. But that said though, these 6 buildings are interesting concepts. I don't know if they're really difficult to get in the game, probably be balancing issues. But we'll start with number 6, which is a cool one, the R-CAT MKII. This is a cool idea for a new building, a mobilized sentry gun or drone for that matter, coming with different levels and I would presume different health, and it does different damage. Now I don't know how it would work. Maybe you place it down, it hovers at an area, and maybe you can give it a waypoint, an area to patrol, and it would follow those patterns, and if any enemy players show up, they can just simply kill them and destroy them. Quite simple, simply good. At number 5, it's Surprise Sentry. A very interesting idea. Basically, I guess how it works is that you have it in your gun, and then you open fire, and I guess it would hide under the ground, and then jump up and explode. That's the hint I'm kind of getting here. I guess it would be useful for a defensive purpose. So as we can see here, you open fire and it plants into the ground, so it actually kind of makes sense if you think about it really. But still a good one nonetheless. At number 4, it's the Engie Sentry. You could say it's sort of similar to the cow mangler almost. It would be good for RD asteroid, but you don't really know really. Now obviously enough though, it comes with 3 levels, level 1, level 2 and level 3. Not really much of a difference, but you can see the sci-fi look and maybe the damage output could be different. But it looks very cool nonetheless. Oh, and they did one for the mini sentry as well. A good one for the mini sentry. Pretty reasonable nonetheless, but pretty cool one at least. The little light, it's actually pretty cool, I have to admit. Pretty cool indeed. At number 3 is the Mobile Sentry Gun. Similar to the R-CAT there we go. This one is on treads. Now, if I remember rightly, this one has been in development for such a long time. This person put a lot of effort with this building. Custom animations, custom everything. And you know that's a lot of determination. For a building idea, probably highly unlikely to get into the game. But you know what? I say it's a damn well good building. And should definitely be worth into the game in some way. Now the workshop didn't really have much for this weapon, but the big A boom is at number 2. This is another sentry, and yes, now this is a 5-year-old video, and I muted it for a good reason. As you can tell, it's basically just like the sentry gun, rather without the machine guns, but just... Sorry about that, I just got interrupted, so where were we? Oh yes, this sentry gun is pretty badass nonetheless though, I will admit. I will commemorate this person who put a lot of work and effort into the sentry gun, and to the building itself really, because not a lot of people can be that talented in the game. to actually make something like this. And I think remember rightly, in the video, the Sentry Gun has its own rocket. Its own literal rocket for the game. So, it's got its own custom animations and everything, but own rocket. That is pretty darn awesome. I've left the link in the description with this video. It's sort of the full video, but you can have a look for yourself. And as we can see here, the rocket, there it is. A custom rocket made. That is just incredible. Really, it is. That's actually pretty darn good work. And it's a shame that a lot of these buildings could easily be added into the game. Well, maybe the laser sentry could be an additional reskin if they wanted to. But maybe the weapons like Big Boom and the Mobile Sentry and the R-CAT, yes, they'd probably take a lot of work to do. But yeah. Sorry again, folks, got interrupted. So, where were we? The defensive Engie pack. So the way this works is that this building would have a shield around it, and obviously enough, it will release bear traps. Very interesting concept. I guess you could say it's sort of similar to Junkrat's bear trap, almost. But it would be very interesting though to see that in the game. As you see here, shield generator, bear trap. Very, very interesting, I will admit. Or maybe they're two different buildings altogether. But still, a very interesting concept. And there you go. 6 buildings that could get into the game. A lot of them been in the workshop for a very long time. Possibly 5 to 4 years. But it is interesting. It is sad that these don't get as much attention as you would figure. And obviously enough though, there are pretty cool buildings and pretty cool designs and concepts, and the stats would be interesting. Now the problem is that there could be saying of balance issues. How would you balance these buildings out? You could use a laser sentry as a reskin for the sentry gun. I guess that would be a very easy thing. But things like the Mobile Sentry or the R-CAT or the other buildings might be even difficult. Who knows? But if they do decide to add in new buildings, this could be the ideal weapons. Or buildings for that matter. What do you guys think? Do you think these buildings look good enough to be in TF2? Or do you think we need to wait a bit more time before they become ready? But with that said though, thank you very much for watching. Have a good day, and listen at the start of the video about my reading. Okay? Good.